Hello everyone and welcome to the Starving Dragons video review of both the Blue Microphones Yeti and the Editor's Keys SL600 microphones. So first up we're going to look at the Blue Yeti, which is made by Blue Microphones, and it retails for around about £95 on Amazon. I'm actually now using that microphone to record from this point onwards, so everything that I say now is through the Blue Yeti, set to the cardioid setting. So what do you actually get when you order a Blue Yeti microphone? Well, you get the microphone itself attached to its stand, and a USB cable. To set the microphone up, it really is as simple as plug and play. You plug one end of the USB into the microphone itself, and the other end into your PC or Mac. So on the front of the microphone, you have a mute button, as well as a power LED. Now the power LED will flash when the mute button is toggled to give you some visual feedback that the microphone is actually muted. As well as that, you've got a volume dial which controls the output volume from the zero latency headphone output jack on the front. On the back of the microphone, you'll find a gain dial which controls the input volume gain for the microphone, along with a toggle switch which changes the microphone pattern setting to one of the 4 settings that the Yeti has configured, which are stereo mode, cardioid mode, omnidirectional mode, and bidirectional mode. I will do a quick sample of each now. Stereo mode uses both the left and right channels to capture a wide, realistic sound image, perfect for recording acoustic guitar or choir. Omnidirectional mode picks up sound equally from all around the mic. It's best used in situations when you want to capture the ambience of being there, like a live recording of a band's performance, a multi-person podcast, or a conference call. Cardioid mode is well suited to podcasts, vocal performances, voiceovers, and instruments. Cardioid mode records sound sources that are directly in front of the microphone, delivering a rich, full-bodied sound. Bidirectional mode records from both the front and the rear of the microphone, ideal for recording a duet or a 2-person interview. So now that we've sampled the different microphone patterns, I'd just like to give some thoughts on it. First of all, as you can see here, the microphone's actually available in silver, black, and a slight gold tint. I've got the silver one. I do think that the black looks really, really good. They all come with the same stand. The stand is very, very sturdy and really well built. However, it does add quite a lot of bulk to the microphone, and it comes with all the normal drawbacks that you'd get from having a desktop mounted stand, which is the things like it picks up the slightest vibrations really, really easily. I'll demonstrate now. That's not me tapping loudly, that's me tapping very, very, very gently. You know, if I knock, it's incredibly loud and it picks it up very, very well. And that's behind the microphone, so that's not the microphone picking up that sound, it's the vibration transmitting through the stand to the microphone. Another area where I feel the Yeti falls slightly short is that most microphones in this price range on their cardioid settings do a much better job of filtering out background noise than I feel like the Yeti does. The Yeti does pick up keyboard noise, which is directly behind it, even in the cardioid setting, as I'm demonstrating now. And most microphones of this sort of level, you wouldn't expect that. The good news is that all of these issues can actually be resolved very easily. All you need to do is buy Yeti's proprietary Radius 2 shock mount and mount it on a microphone stand or a microphone arm. That way you'll reduce all the vibrations coming in, and you can move it probably far enough away from your keyboard, off your desk, that you probably will reduce the background noise quite substantially. All in all, I can't help but think that if the Blue Yeti had included a stand shock mount instead of the desktop stand that they included by default, and then they had removed all of the pattern options on the back except for cardioid, and maybe repositioned the microphones to just reduce background noise that little bit more, you probably would have actually found that 95% of consumers would have actually been better suited to this setup. So next up we're going to be taking a look at the Editor's Keys SL600 condenser microphone, which is currently available from their website at £149.99. So obviously that's £50 more expensive than the Blue Yeti microphone, so what do you get for your money? Well, for a start, the microphone arrives in this black hard carry case with custom foam inserts to protect it during delivery, rather than a white cardboard box. Inside the case, you'll find a short and brief installation guide, along with the shock mount for attaching it to microphone stands and arms, as well as a USB cable, and the microphone itself. Unlike the Yeti, all of the controls for the SL600 are located on the front. So, starting in the middle, you have two dials. One is a gain dial, which is the volume being sent to the computer from the microphone, along with the headphone level, which is the volume for the headphones plugged into the 3.5mm jack. On the left-hand side is the low-pass filter switch, which attenuates high-end frequencies. Generally used for recording bass-heavy signals, it just lowers the bass a little bit. On the right-hand side is the -10 decibel switch, which just reduces the input recording by 10 decibels. Really good for reducing background noise. Now, you might have noticed that I haven't mentioned the fact that there's a power LED, and that's because there isn't one. However, when you turn the microphone on, a soft blue glow emanates from the actual microphone itself, and it gives a really nice effect. Hopefully this video kind of highlights it a bit. It looks much better in real life than it came out on the video, but it's very cool. As with the Yeti, it's a simple case of plug and play. Plug one end of the USB cable into the microphone, and the other end into your PC or Mac. However, you will have to consider how you're going to mount the thing, because while it does come with a standard shock mount adapter for attaching it to a microphone stand or a microphone arm, it does not include any form of desktop stand. Now, this does help, obviously, if you attach it to a microphone arm or a microphone stand, to reduce the vibration issues that plague the Yeti. I'll do the same test again. I'll tap on my desk, and a knock on my desk. I think you'll find that while the sound is still actually audible, you actually can hear what I'm doing much better, whereas before with the Yeti it was much more of just a vibration pickup buzz rather than an audible sound. Another thing to note, of course, is that this microphone is a simple cardioid microphone. It doesn't have any of the microphone patterns that are found on the Yeti, and as such, it specialises in what it does. I personally feel like the directional input of the microphone is actually much better than that of the Yeti when set to cardioid. For example, it's much better at getting rid of distracting background noises like keyboard presses. I feel like they're much less noticeable with this mic than the Yeti. Let's not forget the two options that this microphone does offer, however, which is the low pass filter switch and the -10 decibel pad switch. I will just demonstrate these quickly now. So this is with the low pass filter switch set to enabled. You'll probably notice that there's a little bit less bass to my voice. It's a little bit more treble in mid-range rather than bass. And this is with the -10 decibel pad switch set to off. By default, I normally keep it on for recording since it helps to lower background noise. So what you get with the SL600, I really believe, is less is more. They give you less patterns for microphones, less microphones actually inside the device itself. Yet somehow they managed to put it together in a package that actually does its job better. I genuinely think that if someone's going to be spending £100 or more on a microphone, that they are going to care enough about audio quality that the very first thing that they're going to want to do with the Yeti is take away that desktop stand. Which means that they are then going to have the added expense of buying a shock mount, and because the Yeti is so large, you have to buy the Radius 2 shock mount, which is all thrown in for you with the SL600. Yep, sure, you have to buy an arm or a stand, but wouldn't you probably really do that anyway with the Yeti? And now for the most important bit, the scores. So, I ended up giving the Yeti an 8 out of 10. I thought it had a really good sound quality. It actually is a really solid microphone. However, I felt that the stand that they chose to include was actually more of a hindrance than a help in a certain way, and it was a jack of all trades, master of none. It had a lot of microphone patterns, but I have to say that none of those were as good as the standard cardioid of the SL600. The SL600 I've ended up giving a 9 out of 10. I think it does one thing and one thing really, really well. It's a simple cardioid microphone, but it does that very, very well. The audio quality is fantastic. The packaging was fantastic. It wasn't going to get damaged. Yes, they do force you to have a microphone stand or an arm stand, but I really don't think that I can knock points off that, as I think most people in this situation would probably buy one anyway. So there you have it. If you like the review, please do give us a thumbs up and subscribe. If you dislike the review, please don't just give us a thumbs down. Please do leave a comment in the section below. It'll really help us out. Thank you ever so much for listening, and until next time, goodbye!